to become more prevalent. Now we have misinformation to look forward to. Back to our top story on Tuesday. The U.S. men's national soccer team defeated Iran in the World Cup 1-0. That means they will advance to the round of 16 for the first time since 2014. It's also the first World Cup they've played in since 2014. Didn't qualify in 2018. After crashing the box, American winger Christian Pulisic finished a perfect cross from defender Serginho Dest that left Pulisic hurt with an abdominal injury. The U.S. will face the Netherlands on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's bring in a soccer expert to discuss Tuesday's match. I have subscribed to his podcast for years. He is Christopher Harris. He is the host of World Soccer Talk. My apologies to you, sir. I know that you are Welsh. I know that this did not go the way that you would like it to go, but we are here to talk about USA and Iran, so I must ask you to put your Welsh allegiance aside and ask you what you thought of USA versus Iran yesterday.
Well, first of all, thank you, Mitch. I'm half American, half Welsh, so I was happy that the United States made it through. But yeah, it was a huge victory against Iran. I mean, Iran in the soccer world is not seen as one of the biggest soccer powers, but they were ranked number 20. And there's a lot of pressure going on this young squad, this young US squad. Average age of 24, the youngest average age in this World Cup for a starting lineup, going into a game that they knew they had to win, that they haven't been scoring many goals in this tournament thus far. But as we saw against England, when USA tied 0-0, almost beating England, this was a huge victory. This is a huge confidence boost. And it was tense. It was really tense. It was a great game to watch. And Iran almost got a penalty at the end, which would have knocked the United States out if Iran had scored. But what a victory for the United States, but what a victory too for soccer in this country. Now we go into the round of 16, and there's only just a few more games to go if the US can keep on winning to get to the World Cup final, and anything is possible.
Anything is possible. That is the best way to put it. I was talking to non-soccer fans, and we do have a lot of non-soccer fans that are watching this show, but just can you describe the tenseness of a match where you have to score a goal, the other team is trying to do nothing but draw, and just it's 90 minutes of your heart in your throat, and the feeling you feel after 90 plus minutes is relief. Maybe you felt that way. I know I felt that way, but I just think the non-soccer fan doesn't quite understand the drama of it all and how your heart beats so fast for 90 plus minutes.
Yeah, it is difficult, right? Because it's kind of the opposite of American football, where you get maybe 7 points for a touchdown and a conversion, and the scores can be like 34, 40, 42 something. And soccer, it reminds me in many ways of kind of a really good Netflix, Breaking Bad series, where it's a slow burn. It's one of those things where almost like a chess game in a way too, where a 0-0 continues and continues, and teams get so close to scoring goals, or there's amazing saves, or there's a block by Walker Zimmerman that stops England's leading scorer Harry Kane from scoring a goal, and the fans are cheering. The actual fans for both countries kind of screaming and yelling. So it is a very different experience. But to be on the field, I think, is one of those things where if you're on the field, you're a player, you're playing the game, you're just doing your job. But if anything, for the fans watching in the stadium, it is intense. It is one of those things where one goal can mean the difference between the US advancing in this tournament or going home. And that's exactly what happens. And at the end of the game, when Iran was trying to get a penalty, if they had scored that goal, that one goal for Iran would have sent Iran through in this World Cup. So it is something completely different for a lot of Americans that really haven't watched a lot of soccer. But once you understand it and understand kind of the how close the margins are, where one goal can mean a huge dramatic difference, it does feel then like kind of a slow burn and something really intense, gripping experience.
The only thing I can compare it to as far as the drama and how quickly things can turn is like Texas Hold'em poker. It's like when that river card comes down and suddenly it's an ace and you know the hand has completely changed and the drama contained in that, except it's stretched out over 90 minutes. So that's talking about what's on the field, maybe the fan experience off the field. The circus that was surrounding this match with the geopolitical implications and the issues between the United States and Iran, do you think that impacted the game on the field at all? And we had a report earlier about potential repercussions the Iranian team may face. What do you make of all that? Just the circus surrounding it and how its impact might have been felt on the field or not?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think based on how they played, I think the U.S., I don't think it affected them at all. They came out strong. They didn't seem that nervous. They played their game. Iran, I was a little bit disappointed with. I think they could have played better, but again, you're playing against a young, good U.S. team. So with Iran, that might have been in the back of their heads in terms of all of the pressure going into this game from a political point of view, and also from just a point of view of the Iranian players in the very first game that they played in this World Cup did not sing the national anthem. And there could be reprisals for that. There could be things that might happen to them when they go back to the country or to their families. You don't know. Because in the second game that Iran played, they all sang the national anthem. But at the same time, when they were singing the national anthem, you could tell they didn't want to sing it, but they were singing it. All the Iranian fans in the stadium were booing. So this third game, I think in some ways, I mean, yes, it was circus outside of the game, but I don't think it affected the U.S. But Iran, it did seem to weigh on them, and it seemed to be that they didn't get as many chances or didn't play as well as they did in the second game. So I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks. Hopefully, all the Iranian players will be safe and their families will be safe, and there's no repercussions when they do come back to their country.
All right, that is Christopher Harris, the gaffer. He's the publisher of World Soccer Talk. We thank you for joining us, sir. We hope to have you back sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Mitch. It's been a pleasure.
Still to come, while Team USA has given fans stateside